IoT security. Protecting devices in a vulnerable supply chain. This episode opens with Dr. Ibrahim Malik, an IoT and supply chain security researcher, discussing the unique security challenges within IoT ecosystems, especially in relation to the supply chain. IoT devices often consist of components sourced from various third-party manufacturers, each with their own security standards. This patchwork approach can introduce vulnerabilities, making IoT devices particularly susceptible to attacks that exploit weak points in the supply chain. Dr. Malik challenges Jasmy to explain how their technology addresses these supply chain risks and what steps they take to secure IoT devices against vulnerabilities that may arise from third-party components. Main question: Drive. Malik asks the Jasmy representative, with IoT devices, the security risks within the supply chain are of particular concern. How does Jasmy mitigate security risks that arise from third-party components or devices, and what steps are taken to secure its IoT ecosystem against these supply chain vulnerabilities? Jasmy's initial response. The Jasmy representative responds by explaining that they use a supply chain risk management protocol that involves both device-level cryptographic signing and end-to-end encryption for data transmission. Every IoT device within the Jasmy ecosystem is assigned a unique cryptographic signature, which serves as a digital fingerprint. This signature is verified each time the device communicates within the network, ensuring that only authenticated devices can send and receive data. To further enhance security, Jasmy employs blockchain-based authentication to track each device's activity and origin. As devices are added to the ecosystem, their cryptographic signatures and supply chain history are recorded on the blockchain. This immutable record allows Jasmy to verify the source of each device component, providing transparency and reducing the risk of tampering or the introduction of compromised devices into the network. Jasmy also conducts regular security audits on their network and partners with trusted component manufacturers who adhere to strict security guidelines. During these audits, they assess the compliance of third-party components with Jasmy's security standards, ensuring that every device in the ecosystem meets the same high level of protection. Follow-up question: Drive. Malik, impressed with the protocol, seeks more details on ongoing security management. How does Jasmy manage security updates for IoT devices in its ecosystem, especially for those with limited processing capabilities? Are there mechanisms to remotely disable compromised devices? Follow-up answer by Jasmy. Jasmy elaborates on their over-the-air (OTA) update system, which enables them to remotely push security patches and firmware updates to IoT devices, even those with limited processing power. These updates are cryptographically signed and verified on the device itself before installation, preventing tampering and ensuring that only authorized updates are applied. For devices operating in low connectivity environments, Jasmy has implemented a resumable transfer protocol. This protocol allows updates to pause and resume based on network availability, ensuring that the update process completes as soon as connectivity is restored. In addition, Jasmy has a remote device management system that can disable or quarantine compromised devices. If the system detects unusual behavior from a device, such as excessive data requests or unauthorized access attempts, Jasmy can revoke its authentication credentials on the blockchain, effectively isolating it from the network. This remote disablement capability prevents compromised devices from communicating with other devices, protecting the integrity of the entire IoT ecosystem. By combining OTA updates with remote disablement, Jasmy ensures that their IoT network remains secure even in the face of emerging vulnerabilities. These mechanisms allow Jasmy to respond rapidly to potential threats, maintaining the integrity and reliability of the IoT ecosystem. Use case: securing an IoT-enabled smart factory. To illustrate how Jasmy's IoT security technology functions in a real-world scenario, let's consider a hypothetical situation involving a smart factory. This factory relies on an extensive network of IoT devices, including sensors for tracking machinery performance, cameras for security monitoring, and automated robots for assembly processes. Because the factory uses components from various third-party suppliers, managing supply chain security is a top priority. One day, the factory's system detects unusual activity from a sensor on one of the assembly line robots. The sensor, which monitors temperature, begins sending a much higher frequency of data requests than usual. Jasmy's blockchain-based authentication system immediately flags the sensor's activity as anomalous and alerts the factory's management team. Through Jasmy's secure dashboard, the factory's administrators are able to trace the sensor's supply chain history on the blockchain. They discover that the sensor originated from a supplier with recent security issues, prompting further investigation. In the meantime, the Jasmy system remotely disables the compromised sensor, isolating it from the network and preventing any potential spread of malicious code. Next, Jasmy's OTA update system pushes a security patch to all other sensors in the factory, ensuring they are protected against similar vulnerabilities. The resumable transfer protocol allows the updates to complete in stages, avoiding disruptions to the factory's operations. The factory's administrators use Jasmy's blockchain audit trail to review all recent device activities, confirming that no other sensors exhibit suspicious behavior. They are able to quickly restore the affected robot to full functionality once a replacement sensor is installed, with the assurance that the new sensor's origin is also verified through Jasmy's blockchain. In this use case, Jasmy's supply chain security measures, combined with blockchain-based tracking and OTA updates, allow the smart factory to maintain a secure, efficient IoT ecosystem. By isolating compromised devices and validating the source of each component, Jasmy protects the factory from potentially costly disruptions while ensuring that all devices are trustworthy and compliant with the factory's security standards. Experts' feedback and final assessment. Drive. Malik is highly impressed with Jasmy's IoT security protocols, particularly the use of OTA updates for devices with limited processing power and the blockchain-based verification system. He appreciates the proactive approach to device quarantine, which minimizes the risk of security breaches within the network. With a thumbs up, Dr. Malik concludes that Jasmy's approach to supply chain security and IoT vulnerability management is both thorough and innovative, providing a robust solution for organizations relying on interconnected devices.